It's time for Gardening Inside Out, a live show offering you plant advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. It's Saturday morning. It's time for Gardening Inside Out, coming to you here from the Bates Nursery and Garden Center and the palatial Green Room Studios here. It's going to be a mullet kind of a day here in the Green Room today.
We have tropical down front, perennial in the back.
Did you ever have a mullet? I have a hard time imagining you with a mullet.
I think back, they didn't call it a mullet back when I was in Hawaii.
They called it a trout. No?
I don't think, it just was growing here. I don't think it was ever actually mullet worthy. I didn't have the shortness in the front to help differentiate between it.
I never get in your eyes, man.
I never had one that could, that was like a Jeff Fisher kind of where you could, where you
throw it.
We did that
through the flow.
Yeah,
get the flame.
I never had one of those.
You know what it's going to be today, David?
It's going to be Saturday.
It's going to be gorgeous today.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice, and we've got a trend of that over the coming days. Let's just talk about that. Today, of course, is Saturday the 3rd of August. By the way, belated happy birthday to my dear bride, Renee.
Uh-oh.
She had another birthday yesterday, and that's good, and we don't talk about the number.
Okay.
So,
can we do an over and under?
No.
No?
No. But it's a good number.
It's a good number.
We all get older.
It's better than the alternative.
Not getting older is a bad thing.
Yes.
So, here we go with the weather. And again, it is the 3rd of August, 90 degrees. Does that sound cool or what? I mean, compared to what we've been having with extreme humidity, it's going to be much nicer today. Mostly sunny, 71 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow, a little warmer, 93, mostly sunny again. Still, we're having this reduced humidity, which is so helpful because it has not been unhumid for the last, every day we have paved or prepared for that here.
You got to wait for the hottest day of the
We'll
year.
talk about that some more. 96, 73 Monday, pretty much the same on Tuesday, nearly the same on Wednesday. Thursday, not too different. Friday, back down to 91, 68. And who knows if anything a week out is actually even pertinent or realistic. It is currently 75 degrees here, live from the Green Room at Bates Nursery Station. There's the radar look, and we've nothing really around us at all. And that's kind of a change. We've had such socked in, soggy conditions that the air has been extremely unstable. We all got some storms this week, or at least you heard. You had to have heard a lot of thunder because it was rocking and rolling earlier in the week. We have had about 1900ths of an inch this month. Now the month just started 2 days prior.
Yes.
This week we've had 2.81 inches. So, we had yet another month where we averaged right at 4 inches of rainfall. So, that accounts for the 34 plus inches we've had for the year. We are not dry, folks, which is a really great thing. If you're a gardener and if you're watching this program, you probably are. So we're glad to, give you a favorable forecast. The digging conditions are not bad. The weather is not oppressive, and we hope that the information we give will be likewise non-oppressive. We don't want to oppress you with it. We just want to maybe.
It's interactive, so you talk to us, we'll talk back to you.
Exactly, and we do that not just you and I.
No.
You and I rolled duo for a whole lot of years, but we don't roll that way anymore.
No.
We've got actual expertise that surrounds us. And that comes in the form of Caroline Gant and Austin Lowen. Welcome in, guys. Glad to see you this morning, and glad to have you a part of this soiree that we put on together. Tyler Blankenship keeps it all going across the way. Good morning to you, Tyler. Glad to have you today. And by the way,
good morning.
He is live.
Okay.
The Tyler Cam is live.
That's right. Tyler Cam.
If he, I don't know if he has an icon that is like if he was like slightly ill, it would say that.
Sick.
Yeah. Sickly. Yeah, but he's live
Tyler
today.
updates.
Puny.
Alive.
Yeah.
Tyler alive.
So, welcome in, guys. What's
morning.
going on
Good
with
morning.
you? You know, obviously we've been busy around the nursery here. We finally completed our paving project yesterday. Tyler and Ryan and myself kind of muddled through the striping layout, and we got to a point, and then I decided, you know what? This will go better if I'm not involved. I kind of had some little points that I thought were pertinent. And then once I realized, okay, now I'm being a detractant, I need to extract myself from the equation. And Todd and Ryan did a great job of completing all of that and getting all of our lines in slightly adjusted. You know, we take advantage of this opportunity since we've got all new pavement. I mean, it's all new
cool.
pavement.
It's nice.
It's smooth all the way across. There is, and there you go. There's from flying high yesterday afternoon.
Look at those
and
lines.
I mean, those almost don't look. They look like they're painted on them when in fact they are.
Oh.
But they're not painted on the image. They're on the pavement, and you can even see what a difference 2 weeks makes in how the pavement looks on the lower left side of the screen, which has already begun to gray compared to what was just put down this week. Nothing stays new for very long, and our climate is not a we throw a lot at it.
Yep.
A lot of water. It's just there's all the elements, but we're keeping it real here. That's the way horticulture works. Is that we don't get to dodge raindrops or
Even if
high
they're falling
winds
on your head?
and none of that.
Oh,
and pavement breaks down over time. So after 49 years, we got it all redone. Really grateful for that. My paving guy we just did the lot last year, right?
Right.
It hasn't been a year yet. It's only been like 9 months. And he's already telling me I need to reseal it. And I go, I haven't gotten a year out of this. Dude, that means I got to restripe everything, So I said, I'm going to have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it still looks great.
It won't happen before next summer, but it's really good. I was so over it. I needed desperately to not be dealing with it, and I was actually able to go back to sleep for a couple of hours this morning.
Wow. Congratulations.
I was able to
You
tell
did it.
myself getting up's not going to benefit anything. So I slept, instead of getting up and waking up, staying awake at like 1 o'clock, I got up all the way till 3 o'clock.
Wow.
So that's progress.
A lot of sleep there.
But enough about me and what we got going on here. What about everybody else? Austin, you've had a busy week.
I have, yes.
You've been on dad
Wait till
duty.
next week.
Yes, dad duty. My wife's not feeling all that great, and the kids. Yesterday, my oldest was sick with a fever all day, so I had to stay away from here. I was not at work, so I didn't get to see the striping process
missed a
happen.
lot.
But when I got here today,
It was just me
looked
being stressed
great.
out.
Yes.
It was kind of great to watch.
Well, Tyler, you did a good job.
You
Again,
did.
all the
You did
lines are straight.
fantastic.
Everything looks good.
Thanks. Ryan helped too.
Ryan's great.
Of course, they don't really have anything to do with the lines being straight. They're a point A to point B kind of a team, and then the stripers do all the rest of it. They flip the chalk lines and apply the paint, as it were, and make it all look good. So it's a challenging, and now Tyler understands there's a bit of angst involved with it, but you have to commit. You have to find a spot to start.
I hate this.
It is. It's not a good feeling because it has that feeling of permanence.
Yes.
You go, oh gosh, if I make a mistake, it's going
Sounds
to
like
be.
you're laying tile, David, is what
Well,
it sounds like.
they do carry black paint
Yes.
on their trailer, but we're trying. He never had to use any yesterday, right, Tyler?
Nope.
We only had one little spot on the previous one. So Josh, our striping guy, really good guy, and got it done. Very patient. Because it's, and I apologize to him as I'm giving him a check yesterday for it taking us a while to get it all together. But when you're starting fresh, the first time the stripes are being applied, you have this ability to make some changes. So we talked
We
through
certainly did.
it. It worked out.
Is there a checkerboard at the other end? I haven't been down there yet.
There's no checkerboard,
No?
Josh.
That'd be
Sarah
fun.
Bass was asking for like a Foursquare or a tic-tac-toe or
Hopscotch.
hopscotch.
Yeah.
And we
Some-
didn't do it?
No,
Tyler.
Oh.
Tyler.
Well,
they didn't have the stencil.
we've got a.
They could have made it
we've
work.
got room for it in the center aisle where our number 2 unloading spot now. So now we have designated unloading places where we can unload up to
We can
3
play
semis.
shuffle.
Well,
Lord, out
that's
there,
where
David.
we're
It's
gonna
so
play
smart.
unload all the trucks at once. So.
Yes.
So that's a
At
great
one time.
game.
Hey, we already got some live comments
Yes.
about
Woo!
the paving. Colin said bought some pots yesterday and had no issues moving
Colin, I saw you
from the
I
lot
helped you.
to checkout area.
I love you.
Really nicely done. Only issue was inside the checkout area. Now, I don't know what Colin means by that.
Well, it's just not been
It's
paid.
still a little bit, yeah.
Well, we didn't
But I
pay
don't
him
think there's a
inside,
lot of-
Colin.
Yeah, we didn't. That's to give reference to, that was the good pavement, and the good old pavement because it has not been outdoors; it had been under protective cover. So,
Got to
That-
leave a little room for history.
well, yes, and
right.
that's part to remind all of us what we, what we used to deal with. It was horrific. I mean, you looked at it. What we just paved over it was done. It was
definitely was
It was
done.
done a couple of years ago. We just, you kind of have to save quite a few coins to be able to afford to do it, and that's credit to the folks who support us, and it's our way of saying, hey, we're reinvesting into the place that you hopefully hold as a special place, and this helps you
Colin said it's bumpy in there, man.
bumpy.
Yeah.
Bumpy.
Hey, if you want to time travel, you should go Google Bates Nursery and then click on the 360 interior photos. And the original garden center photos are still there.
Wow.
You can see how far we've come.
Yeah, raise the roofs. We've added
Literally.
additional seasonal structures and all of that. So we've actually
It's really a cool visual.
accomplished quite a lot in the last 3 years, and that is really a complete credit to the folks who deem us worthy of that financial support and they come do business with us, and we try to reciprocate by giving good information and excellent products. And I think we have a display of all of that right here this morning.
Really cool.
I think we do. We got a little bit of everything. And then Jane Ann Gibbs did say, beautiful work, Bates Nursery.
Yes.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
And then Colin said, it's just one bump coming out of checkout. It's all good. I'm just poking the bear.
It's the
Uh-oh.
best we could do, but
There's a really cool visual if you stand at the pergola, the main entrance to the lot there.
Yep.
And you look straight down that aisle. It is a really cool visual if you want
Well, you're gonna have to look soon because
because it's going to get full.
yes, we've got
It starts to suck you in.
at least
You-
at least 5 semi-loads of plants that will be here this week. So on the heels of our getting everything completed pavement-wise and the striping, immediately we begin to relocate plants to their more normal location, and we have had to intentionally allow our inventory to decrease
Dwindle.
a bit because we just simply haven't had places to put it. So now we've got all this space. The trucks are going to be rolling in. We're going to roll it out there and make it worth the drive from anywhere.
Yep.
Already worth the drive.
June, Alita, Margaret, Donna, Emily, Linda, Jane. We see you out there.
Hey.
Emily. Hey, thanks for joining us.
All right.
Do we
And
have any
then-
questions?
We do have questions. Emily Boyd did give a shout out. The new pavement is great. It is exceeded only by the great Bates team. Shout out to Austin, Caroline, and Ryan.
I tell you, we all work.
Amazing.
Everybody works hard at that aspect every day, and yes, pavement is good. I wholeheartedly endorse that comment because it's one thing. Facilities are just that, but to have people that really pull the same direction and or care about what they do, I feel especially blessed in that regard. So thank you to in studio folks and all those out there, I'm not going to start naming names because I'll forget somebody. So
And we have a lot. And we also have a lot of questions. So
let's do it.
I'd say it's time to dive in. Could wisteria thrive in a large pot with a trellis to climb?
It'll thrive probably too much is the problem. I mean, I don't know that you can get a trellis big enough in a pot that's going to like maintain wisteria unless you're really good at pruning, which that's kind of a cool thing to do. Sometimes it's cool to make a single stem out of that vine and like stake it and then top it. And then it'll bush out up top, and you can make a cool little wisteria tree.
Now,
That'd be cool.
Wisterias are what zone hardy generally? I know it depends on the species, but it could be, are they more than zone 5 or?
I believe so, yeah. I think that even
Now,
in a pot, they'd be plenty
I've seen
hardy
them
for
in
the winter.
Pennsylvania. I've seen them in Iowa. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So, yeah, they should be fine in a pot. They've got an extensive root system, too, though, so go with a pretty big pot if you're going to do it, and then you might every couple years have to take it out and root prune it or move it up into a bigger pot.
Yeah, keep those roots from getting into the ground because they will do that. So with whatever you might be selecting to go in a container, you really need to aim for 2 hardiness zones lower than wherever you are. Now we're in zone 7B here, so you really want to go to at least zone 5B or maybe a little bit lower to provide that additional relative insulative effect that being above ground you lose by being in a container. So it's got to be more hardy to be able to stand that, and that's wisteria are not the exception.
would it be fair to say that we might be a little bit disappointed for the first 8 or 10 years? Because, and not only are you going to need a structural steel pergola or a structure like that, they take a minute to bloom.
They do.
Yeah.
And you want to be careful with your fertilizer applications, like not hardly any at all. Like, I mean
no
a first
nitrogen.
number. Yeah, you don't want nitrogen in your soil mix. Okay, so
Vegetative growth is not desired.
No.
It's going to grow. It's a growing machine.
yeah, but it won't. Josh is right. It will not bloom if it has excess nitrogen. So don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it. All right, we got another vine question. Can I overwinter star jasmine if it's planted in the ground? You can. I had one for 3 years, and then 2022 took it out. So I was able to overwinter. I mean, I didn't do anything. I just planted it in the ground. It was in full sun, and it grew. It held its leaves during the winter, most of them. But then we had that big winter that came through and it killed it. I mean, there was no life left.
Yeah, and it might have happened even last year as well.
I think it would
we
have,
did go
yeah.
to 10 below. And by the way, in case you're curious, horticulturalists do not get a break on the weather. Things freeze, as Austin can verify, at our homes just like they do everyone else's. So we don't know what the weather's going to do. All we can do is try to make the most informed decisions with regard to that so that we don't put something in a spot that's going to be likely to freeze out. Most broadleafs are good here year in and year out, but hopefully we're not going to have quite as severe a winter as we've had the last couple, the worst of which was, of course, 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I lost a lot of stuff, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. And then a second jasmine question. Best way to get jasmine to climb a brick west-facing wall?
It's not going to like self-cling onto that wall, so it's best to get like some sort of trellis system.
Does not have
up it.
tendrils.
No,
No,
it's
it
not
doesn't.
like ivy or something that'll just like cling to it, you know.
It
So
likes to wrap.
yeah, you need to get something that can wrap up. So, getting something, get creative with it, have fun with it, but make a trellis or buy a trellis or whatever and get it started at least up.
A section of a cattle panel, which is a galvanized piece of heavy steel that's used for fencing and livestock. But if you trim it down and stand it on end and maybe put some spacers behind it, it's great for that. And nothing will break it down. I mean,
No.
not a wisteria, nothing.
Yeah. What about Tapcon screws in the brick and then taking
I'm a
twine
Tapcon kind of
and
guy.
you could train it to grow in any kind of a
Yeah,
shape
I've
you
seen that
want it to be.
before. I used to maintain some crossvine
Now,
that was
the
trained
deal
like
with
that. and it was
Tapcons
gorgeous.
is you got to paint them black or whatever before you drive them in because they're blue out of the box, and it don't.
Got a problem with blue?
They don't look good against like a red brick or anything else unless your house happens to be blue.
That's a good
Take
point.
a magic marker.
Nah, it's not magic.
A magic marker. Yeah. Color it in with the magic marker.
So I would just spray paint them, beforehand.
hex head or the
Stick them
star
in a
head?
piece of cardboard or styrofoam and all together and just spray paint them, and
Okay.
they're good.
Yeah, but that is a great way to do it. I've seen it done, and it looks fantastic. And then it looks like it's actually clinging to the wall. The place
Right.
I'm talking about had, I don't know if it was fishing line or it's probably something a lot heavier, but that's what they
The
had
screws
used.
completely disappear. You won't see them.
You won't see them. That crossvine ate the screws and the whole building and stayed up through the winter. Oh
It
my
didn't
gosh,
freeze
was a
out either,
cascade.
did
It
it?
didn't freeze out. Cascade of blooms in the spring.
No, it's so good.
And
I have some pictures of it. Maybe I'll bring them, throw them up next week.
foliage. It's all good.
Turns dark purple
Yeah.
in the. in the
Don't have to worry
winter.
about its feet getting hot.
Don't have to worry about its feet. It loves its
hot.
feet to be hot.
Oh, okay.
Loves those feet to be hot.
Yeah.
But where do you put your feet?
Well,
When you're
I would
planting
put-
stuff, when you're
yeah.
digging holes to put those feet in.
if you're out, if you're a
Wow.
real gardener, and you want to take your shoes off and get out there and get
Twiggle
your feet.
your toes around.
Well, getting your feet in the
Yeah,
soil. There are
man.
some people who believe that to be a very therapeutic thing, and I cannot refute that.
No.
Now, I don't like digging holes barefooted because, the shovel hurts your foot.
Really
and,
does.
and it can
point.
cut a toe off. We don't recommend that.
No.
One of the good reasons to have Earth Mix garden products as part of your regular gardening regime is that there are a whole variety of different products that are already pre-blended, ready to use. You don't have to do any mixing at all.
Just
So-
add feet.
You can stand there barefooted and be safe and confident about what you're doing.
Yes.
But more than that, you can get great results out of it. And Earth Mix garden products are all 100% organic, but more than being simply organic,
What's that?
they are highly productive,
Yes.
really the most excellent growing soils. And on the Earth Mix side of things, constantly working at trying to improve the soils and the processes that we do to further raise the bar so that we can differentiate what Earth Mix is compared to pretty much everything else in the
Right.
marketplace. And we've done some new mechanization just yesterday. So there'll be more talk about that coming forward. But it doesn't matter if you're looking to plant. Earth Mix Landscape is great for any landscape situation, no matter what you're planting, be it vegetable garden or trees or shrubs, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
If you're looking to plant directly into the ground, Earth Mix Garden, maybe your garden plants are going to go in there.
Yes.
In a container, well, you can use Proganics O for outdoor plantings. You can use Proganics I, as Caroline would recommend, for all your indoor endeavors. No peat in any other products. It's all coconut coir and other organic inputs that do not create problems, but rather give you the most advantageous growing environment and for all the things in your garden. So remember this, success begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products. And that's the way we do it here. And we're really proud of all the people who are kind enough. And did we not add a new vendor?
We did. Innovative Lawns in Fairview, Tennessee.
Fairview.
Fairview.
So, and you can find them and all the other vendors simply by either scrolling in and looking at them more closely, or you can put your address in to the search box here for turn-by-turn directions to the location nearest you. And then if you go down the page, instead of zooming in or out, you find all the various locations. You can look at them by state and by city that way. And it'll also tell you what products they carry. So check it out, earthmix.net, and that's the Find Earth Mix tab. And thank you again for allowing us to be a part of your gardening efforts and to help you have success and take the work out of it.
Why work?
Well, I mean, you don't want to make it harder than it has to be. We're about trying to dial in the successful combination.
Yes.
And
No peat, so it's good for the feet.
that's right. So here we are.
I
What?
love that, Josh.
Think about it. You wouldn't want peat moss in between your toes, would you?
No.
Well,
Golly,
yes, they're not.
I prefer the cocoa core.
There you go.
Much
Coconut,
better between
much
the toes.
better.
Yep.
You're talking about digging holes without shoes on. I only like to dig holes with them on.
I got it.
Ain't trying to dig holes?
I've dug holes barefoot before.
No,
Yeah.
Caroline, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself.
Not a lot though,
No, don't do that.
but they're.
I don't even. I don't even want to dig them in flip flops.
No. I've never worn flip-flops in my
Or
life.
Crocs.
Why'd you look at Josh like that?
What?
Oh, Josh is a Croc. He's a Croc guy.
I am a croc.
There are many croc gardeners.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm okay
I think
with
that's
it.
what they were originally designed for. That was the first place you ever saw a croc, was at a nursery.
Really?
Yeah.
So you could water and your shoes wouldn't get.
Kick them off. And
I don't
throw
know,
'em away,
they're
man.
fine for watering. I just don't think they're good for digging.
Yeah, probably not.
I need to be able to have a really well supported shoe that's tightly laced, and ready to stomp.
Yeah.
For digging those holes.
There you go.
But what do you put in those holes? Flowers. And there's so many colorful flowers
Oh, are there?
all around town.
Yep.
Tyler?
Tyler.
Oh,
Man, I tell you. Are you sleeping?
no.
I think he was.
With Austin.
No, I'm not.
You
Hey.
sleep with your eyes
Yeah.
I was
open.
like, should I put the email up so people can see the email to send it? That's what I was doing.
Okay.
So
All right, you're forgiven. All right, y'all. Things are blooming. A lot of the same things are blooming. It's kind of that weird time. I was sitting up last night trying to come up with stuff, and I'm like, oh, gosh, here we go. So I got a little bit of help today from Caroline, from Ben, from Tyler, all over the place. Very
You
first
got here
one.
early just to get that help.
I did.
know.
He
I
saw
got
you
here
rolling.
early, got my paper out, fresh out of the printer. The printer?
Look at
Is
that.
that what it
The
was?
printer of your hand.
Yeah, okay. Here we
stole
go.
it from the.
I did. Paul will be mad at me. All right, shout out Ben. You told me this morning. Agastache. Hey, Agastache,
yeah.
Agastache, Agastache, whatever you want to call it. The bees love it.
Yes.
Oh my God, they're all over it, y'all. Just getting drunk on that Agastache. It's great. Hey, Sedum's still going.
Don't get any ideas, Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
Brew it
Salliums.
up.
Yeah, I said Salliums.
Alliums.
That's what I call them now. Alliums. I didn't mean to say Salliums.
You're a psyllium right
Shout out
now.
Sally.
Salliums.
Drinking
They're
his
still going,
Agastache
almost
again,
done. Hey, my girl Veronica's still speeding up.
Ooh.
Okay, Black Eyed Susans. Caroline, you told me that this morning. The cone flowers, they're also still going. Caroline gave me a new one, which is great. Crocosmia. What you know about Crocosmia?
Nothing.
It's
Nothing.
a great
None of
plant.
y'all do, but it's looking
We
good.
actually brought it into the studio probably about 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay. Typically blooms red
Mine blooms orange.
and the orange. I was gonna say that.
Sorry.
Well,
I'll
great.
let you finish.
It's all good. Crocosmia, y'all grow it. It's pretty cool. Hey, the moonflower datura still, waking up with us in the morning, and then it's going to sleep with us at night. That's what it does.
See them every day.
Morning glory, same way. I got a morning glory
Gross.
climbing my Japanese maple. It's annoying me, but it was blooming blue this morning. I saw it. I said hello to it.
You still haven't pulled that up?
No, I haven't yet. Caroline, it's hot. Okay,
been
give me
You
a
might want to talk
break.
to your neighbors before you plant morning glory.
Oh yeah,
saying.
It's the-
definitely. There's a lot of plants like
It's
that. Hey,
an evil plant.
upright garden phlox.
Still going.
Still
Mine
going.
is still going.
Looking good. Bridget, your grasses are still going. Hey, why not? Why not grow grasses? Y'all need to be doing it. Hey, I wanted to talk about this. I talked about elderberry like a month ago. Well, elderberry finished blooming. It's already set its fruit. And then since it's such a weed, it regrew and is reblooming.
Wow.
Wow.
I
clap
mean-
for it.
There you go, Caroline. Don't clap for
I
elderberry.
learned that beavers like to eat elderberries.
Extra clapping
Yeah.
for it because beavers are
Beavers
adorable
eat
and
wood.
they deserve it.
Tyler.
Somebody was feeding them elderberries.
Oh,
Like
Beavers
like
eat a lot of
rescue.
things. Keep going.
They like wood. You know what? Hibiscus still blooming, looking good. Hydrangeas, y'all. Hydrangeas, the Endless Summer Collection, the Annabelles, the Incredibles, the Panicles, all still going. If you're not growing hydrangeas, something is obviously wrong with you. Sun King Aurelia, Caroline brought it in the room today. I've got it at my house. It is blooming right now. Is it really cool? No, not
it's
really.
pretty cool. It gets big.
No, the
color's
plant's
cool.
great. No, the color of the plant is great. We're talking about things that are blooming. Is the bloom cool?
Oh.
Nah.
But what insect is all around those blooms?
Flies. The flies. They're everywhere around Sun King Aurelia, so get ready for that. But shout out, great plant, Sun King Aurelia, fantastic. Hey, Vitex is blooming. Hey, I told Tyler to cut back his Vitex a couple weeks ago. He didn't.
That was last week.
Okay, last week he didn't do it, but you know what? It still spit another bloom, didn't it, Tyler?
Yeah.
You got one bloom on your Vitex right now.
Mine did
Yeah,
too.
I do.
Both
If
of
you
our
would have cut
Vitex.
it back, you would have had like 10.
I had to
Not
put
yet.
in landscape timber, Austin.
All right, okay, whatever. Your
Quit giving
Vitex still
Tyler a
has
hard
one bloom.
time.
We'll get to
Hey,
it.
it's been like 2 months and Magnolia's still spitting blooms. Just spitting, like not really throwing, just spitting. But it's happening. You know what else is
Patootie.
spitting a little bit? Caroline's Jane Magnolia. Her
Yes, it's
deciduous
blooming right now.
magnolia.
What?
Plants do weird stuff, y'all.
Every year it blooms
Every
2 to
year.
3 times.
And it'll throw a few. It's not a ton. It's not a huge show, but it's doing it, okay? Crepe myrtle, y'all, still going, always going in the summer. Rose
Mine's
of
still
Sharon.
not blooming.
Oh, Caroline.
Wow.
Rose of Sharon, the other hibiscus, still growing, still dropping blooms. Hey, some of our, what am I saying, are natives. Ironweed and milkweed. Weeds in the name. They're both weeds, but they're blooming.
I'm
Looking
seeing Joe
good.
Pie now.
You got Joe Pie going?
Pie's going.
Hey, Joe Pie, what's up?
Iron butterfly.
Here we go. The herbs: dill, oregano, basil. Okay.
Wow.
You know what? My basil's not blooming because I harvest it from the tips like you're supposed to.
You're
okay?
so smart.
That's right, but it's a bushy pesto basil in the garden.
And it doesn't bolt on you either, does
It's
it?
not been doing it. Nope. And it's looking good. It's variegated. Y'all, that's a good little plant to grow. In the ground, I ain't done anything to it, and it's a little shrub. Looking good. Hey, Cleome still going. That old weed. Zinnias. Y'all, zinnias. Weed. Yes, that's That's how you say that. Okay, Tyler, get ready. Get it going.
Tyler,
I'm
go,
almost
go,
there.
go.
Cleome, zinnias in Caroline's world, and coleus, the big shade-loving foliage plant. And then, hey, look at that, y'all. That's my mix container.
That's gorgeous.
I
really
took that
cute,
last
Austin.
night. Look, the variegated
little
sweet potato
silver
vines.
wings.
I love the variegated sweet potato.
In the
vine.
middle, y'all, those are just straight up a 4-pack of Impatiens. David talked about it last week about how you overbuy all the time with stuff. Literally, one little 4-pack, like $1.99 that cost me. And then only 4 in the center of that pot, and they've already swelled. They're swelling.
Wow.
On the sides, we got caladiums.
With pride, if nothing
swelling.
else.
Stunning.
God, I love that sweet potato vine, though. That pink, y'all, killer. You can't see the begonia in the back. It's kind of the runt of the litter,
see
but
it
it's back
peeking.
there, and it's blooming. Yeah, I just didn't get it. I'm not a photographer like Tyler.
I love the caladiums.
Oh, right on the sides, y'all. It's full. It's
That's a
looking
watermelon
good.
one, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, it's so good, y'all. Thank you.
Is that
Thank you.
Vinca Major right there in the
That's
center?
it's a variegated. Yeah, it's a variegated vinca. It's called like Illumination.
That's
something like
nice.
that.
I like that.
Y'all, it's taken off. That's what's in bloom.
Wow. It's
Way
beautiful.
to go. Way to go.
My mix containers look terrible right now.
Yeah.
Just going to go ahead and say it.
Heated. Caroline, why does it look bad? What are you doing wrong, man?
Mine are blowing up.
Well,
If I had your container, Austin, I'd just sit there and look at it.
I do every night, Tyler. I have 2. They look identical,
Do you
by the
just
way.
drag up
Yeah.
a chair and you go, what are you doing?
What's
sits
up?
I'm
between the two.
watching my mixed pot.
I do. Yeah, I literally sit there every night. My chair sits right next to those pots, y'all. I sit out every single night and ponder life. You know, I ponder
You
what's
ponder
in bloom.
plants.
I sit there every night and I think, what's in bloom? I write
That's
my list.
You really
the old
do.
porch pondering.
Yep.
Cheatham County porch ponderer.
There it
well,
is.
you got something real pretty to look at on
There it
that
is.
porch.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you, Austin.
Thank you for the
welcome.
passion.
You're a gift to us all.
Yes, you are.
Weeds.
He did the same thing when he called out Bridget one time. He went, Bridge!
Yeah. Bridge.
Oh, it's the best.
Okay, Bridge is the best. What's
is
some
the
more
best.
questions, Caroline? We got stuff. I'm
We
sure.
don't have any more.
No?
Just kidding. We have so many more. We got a few live questions in during your segment, so let's go. We got one from Joyce Hooks that says, Caroline, did you mention you have an Edgeworthia paper bush? Is it normal to get yellow leaves this time of year? Mine may be getting too much afternoon sun. It is pretty normal with how dry it had been before we started getting this rain. Mine was shedding some of the older leaves, so some of the lower leaves. And I did notice when I bought mine, I always like to set my new plants in a spot just to make sure they're going to be happy there. And mine was getting some afternoon sun, and it hated it. So I moved it to the north side of my house, or when I planted it, that's where I did plant it. So it doesn't really get much direct sun at all, and those leaves are actually bigger and more green. So it could be that it's getting a little too much afternoon sun, but it's typical for them to get some yellow leaves and drop them. So it's nothing to really be worried about.
Yeah, we
Joyce.
see them here.
You're doing great.
We see them here at the nursery. Once they start getting tired in the season, like lower yellow leaves start to drop.
I
It's
love that
natural.
plant. I love it. I'm
That's
so
a cool
glad I
plant.
finally got myself one. After
plant.
3 years of wanting one, I did it. And then Helen says Austin had trimmed off dead sections of boxwoods that he planted at his home and replanted all of them grouped together. How are those plants faring?
Money.
I did see a picture.
Money power. They're great. It's 7 boxwoods in the same hole, all married together.
Good, that's
and
it.
thank you for asking me.
We've kind of dropped it, haven't
We did. You know what? Next week. I'll get you a picture.
And
okay?
then, and you'll also give us a cost analysis of what that one cost you because
Oh.
you got an investment in that one.
$300 in one box for one hole. Oh, it was great. No, I don't want to talk about it.
But that's what you call.
It's so worth it.
When you get lemon, sometimes you have to make lemonade.
That's right.
And that's what
He got the
that
whole
does.
punch bowl then, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He bought the whole grocery
That was
store.
some labor-intensive lemonade.
But some gorgeous, well worth it.
They look great.
Very
Hey,
sweet lemonade.
They look great. And you know what? Like I said, thanks for asking. That's really nice of you to worry about my boxwood. Don't worry about them. To ask about
Possibly the only
in.
person other than Austin who is.
them. Yeah. Next week, pictures coming.
All right.
Tyler,
We need
Tyler,
a
get
photo
ready.
of that. And then Linda
Always
says,
ready.
I repotted my hibiscus in the spring. It's gotten so big, but not the first bloom. So I guess it hasn't bloomed yet. What can I do?
That's interesting. I wonder what kind of hibiscus. I wonder if it's
Mine's
tropical
orange
or
is
if
doing
it's
the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it's tropical
Exactly,
hibiscus, like they a lot of times you put them in the ground, they throw a ton of vegetative growth and not a ton of
Right.
floral activity. Is that the way to go?
Floral activity. I
Yes,
think.
floral activity. Just made that up. So that could be the case if it's a tropical one. If it's a perennial hibiscus, that's a little odd to me too. It just sounds like it's really throwing vegetative growth, but not really wanting to bloom.
Again, it could have something to do if you're really juicing it up with a lot of nitrogen, where that it is, it just becomes it's in that growing stage, and things that are trying to flower don't need nitrogen. They really need phosphate and potash, and if you're putting liquid feed on there and it looks lush and growing and all of those things, you might need to back off of that, and it probably needs maybe a more sunlight because they can adjust to quite lower light conditions, but you may sacrifice flowers in the bloom set in the process. So try to observe those things, see if you can make a change.
Mine was so root bound. I think it's just enjoying the new space and it's going, thank
It's
you.
breathing.
Yes.
That's what they
Spreading its
do. Yeah.
roots. Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever. Yeah. Go ahead.
I noticed that with my houseplants. When I repot them, they won't grow for a very long time. And then once the roots fill out into the new soil, then they take off. So it's just patience. And then our last live questions thus far comes from Susan. Good morning, all. What are
Sue.
some flowering shrubs that do well in shade? Some morning sun, but afternoon shade. So many plants.
We did this on our little Instagram thing this
Astilbe.
past week. Yeah. You talked about
We're
astilbe.
talking about shrubs, not perennials. Camellia.
Camellia, you talked about camellia.
Plethora.
There's a lot, y'all. We've got a whole shade department. Come talk to any of us. Come talk to Ryan. He loves the
Yes.
shady stuff. We've got even randomly, we've got like bushy Japanese maples.
Ryan is the least shady thing in our shade section. There's nothing shady about him at all, but he is the Lord over all things shady.
He is.
He's got some really great just performance recommendations on certain types
Yep.
of plants.
Yeah, one
Fans-
great thing about Ryan, he has a lot of experience in
Yes.
the field. So he doesn't just talk about like reading off the tags or what he's heard, but he's like, yeah, so at someone's house I planted this and I was able to watch it for 4 years, and he'll like really tell you how the plants perform.
He's a little gossip about certain hydrangea varieties too. He's just like, well, they say that quickfire is good, but really, you want the,
Yeah.
He really goes into it.
Oh, well, we were talking the other day about beautyberry, and we were looking at the amount of beautyberry that we have right now. Speaking of, y'all come out and get some beautyberry. We got like way too much. And you
But it
need
all looks great.
You need it in your yard. But he was like, yeah, this tag says this gets 5 foot tall. He's like, I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm like, I know. I've seen it. I was in Florida once. I saw a 12-foot hedge of beautyberry. And he's like,
Yeah, it gets
so
huge.
you got to talk to us. You can't just look at the tags. They're not always accurate, y'all. They're like general landscape sizes if you prune and such.
Well-
but if you don't, we can tell you how big
Well,
they actually get.
If you had beautyberry, maybe in a more northern climate where the season's not quite as long, it could stay within that. Or if you are especially judicious in using your shears
Yeah.
at the right time, yes. But they do get, they're growing machines.
They really
like
are.
many flowering shrubs.
Calicanthus comes to mind.
That's a
Sweet
great
shrub.
one.
That's a cool
Yeah.
plant.
Yep.
Not a lot of people are growing it. Big old leaf for the shade. Like you don't see a big old leaf
I've got
like
one
that.
of those. They're gorgeous.
They grow like crazy.
Mine's really huge. I actually need to prune it, and I might transplant it. So.
Of course.
I
Don't say
know.
might. You are.
Am I?
Yes.
Well,
Does
just speaking
everything
of.
have to get moved twice in your
Everything.
garden?
No, I just have a lot of
3
plants.
times.
It's just a little bit of them. All right, ground cover in a shady spot to be mixed with hellebore.
A juga.
Juga.
Try a judo.
Gesundheit.
I like the look of foam flower, personally.
You think of that as a ground cover?
Yes, because it's really low and its blooms are like
It doesn't
spiky
really.
and short.
I think ground cover is like.
I think
I've
of a
got a
spready
really,
boy.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got a little evergreen, little juniper down there that's doing great with my highway to hellebore. That looks gorgeous.
Highway to Hellebore.
I love me some ground cover juniper.
Hey, you know what? There's just so many things you can use
Yes.
in a garden, and at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, we try to give you the opportunity to consider everything. Say you want to find out, well, what Bates has in natives, because I don't ever see a lot of natives out there. Well, go to batesnursery.com, and in the search box, that's where the little hourglass is. Type in the word native and press enter and see what happens.
Wow, that's cool.
That shows you all the natives we have, and then down here further,
pages and pages.
There's 19 pages of those. We don't have time to go through all of those, but
That coreopsis.
it doesn't matter if you're talking about trees, shrubs, ground covers, perennials, all manner of things for native gardening. We are your connection. There are places that are fine places that specialize in natives.
Yep.
And it is my contention, even they can't compare to what we have in natives. So check that out. If you just want to find out about natives, just type in the word native into the search box, and everything we have comes up. Now, it may be that you're interested in other things. Maybe it's maybe it's pottery.
Pottery?
John. Yes. And, we had a pottery thing a couple of weeks ago. It was well received. However, what we have done this week is we have stepped up our game because we're getting ready to move all that again. And Caroline and Austin specifically do not want to move it. So they petitioned hard and said, look, why don't we see if we can sell some more of this so we don't have to move it.
Right.
So 50% off.
Wow.
If you're a Bates
We did
Reward,
it for you guys.
50% off on all containers that are in our parking lot. And in addition to that, you get 50% off bags of Proganix O and also Earth Mix Virago earthworm castings.
Wow.
50% off. This is a
That's
great time
a
to stock
deal,
off.
folks.
If you have been considering something, go, well, today's your day. Now, this goes on through the end of business on Thursday, but today's the day when it figures that there'll be a lot of folks show up about that.
We have some especially large pots out there as well.
We do have
Monsters.
Especially.
Yes.
So the price
Little
will
baby
not
ones too.
the price will not be better. So come see us. And while you're here, you can see this old photograph right there.
Yeah.
That's old pavement. We have new pavement now.
Wow.
Speaking of new, next week, I think our new website will be up. Tyler and I have been talking about that, and they've been working diligent at it. In the background, there'll just be a updated look coming soon. So just be looking for that. Probably before Thursday of next week.
Before Thursday.
I'm just saying,
Yep.
So it'll work functionally the same. It's just going to have a very different look and feel, and so
You're going to love it.
it's really, really nice. So we've been evaluating that. Really, hopefully, will give us a lot better interaction with everyone who's at home and thinking about gardening. So, no matter what you're planning on doing, trees, shrubs, ground covers, if you have photographs, bring them out on your tablet or your phone, and Austin or one of the other great professionals here will be glad to help suggest how you can get the right plants in the right place the first time, because that's the way we do it at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. We try to help you take the guesswork out of gardening. It's not about well, that's pretty, I think I'm going to get one of those. If you want to do that, that's fine, but it's really better to kind of have some kind of a plan together. Just like everything else anymore, plants are not cheap. So it really behooves you to take some time to really understand what the attributes of that particular plant are and use the expertise that we have. And we don't do anything else. We're gardeners every day and have been for many, many decades. Matter of fact, we have been beautifying Nashville since 1932, just not us personally.
No,
but
not-
as a company, we have
Yeah.
been. Third generation now. So we appreciate you coming out and seeing us. We're conveniently located 1 mile north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike. That's just minutes from Rivergate, Opry Mills, Nashville West, downtown Nashville. And no matter whether
or
where you're coming
Yeah.
from, it is worth a drive.
It is.
So come see us. Check out the new pavement. We got lots of truckloads of things rolling in this week, and all of our pottery in the parking lot, 50% off.
Folks, that stuff is gorgeous.
That's
out
through the
there.
end of the day, and help Austin and Caroline get a little bit of a break
Please.
and not have to move all that.
Please help
Yes.
us.
If
So-
you like canary yellow, there's some
There's some great
massive
blue
canary-
there's some
the
great-
blue pottery is just to die
So
for. I already got some.
we have sold quite a lot of, but there still is quite a lot. We had a lot.
Square,
So-
round,
so
oval,
anyway,
textured, smooth.
If you've
Got
already
it
come
all.
and gotten some, come back and consider some more.
Get
50% off on that Proganics O for outdoor container use, and also Earth Mix Viagra. All those things, 50% off through the end of business on Thursday. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
What's in room with Caroline?
Wow.
He cut
Just a
you
little
off.
fast on the button.
Well, that was
Sorry.
a fast
Tyler.
transition.
Accidentally pressed it.
Well, I will admit I got long on that one. So, yeah.
All right, but speaking of the nursery and the sale going on, I mean, you also have to get plants to fill those pots,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got house plants in the front and outside plants in the back. So let's talk about what's behind us right now. I would say this is the party in the back. And what is the biggest party plant? Rudbeckia.
It is.
It likes to
man.
party.
Do not say yuck.
Yuck.
Look at that.
Austin.
Yeah, Austin, hush. Mute his mic while I do this.
Don't mute
him
me,
now.
ever.
Mute him right now.
If I mute the both of you, if I mute you.
Oh, don't mute him. So, I mean, just look how tall this one is. This one, the tag says sweet black-eyed Susan. Oh, she's so sweet. She's so tall. So this is on just a cinder block flipped on its side. So you can tell how tall it is. I mean, if you want something that's going to give you some height, give you some beauty, lots of blooms,
So don't
can
plant
tolerate this
them. Don't
heat.
plant them next to the sidewalk. Plant them in the back.
Plant them in the back. This is a flowering perennial that's going to want to go towards the back. And then under the TV, we've got Austin's favorite. He's already talked about it this morning, Sun King Aurelia.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Attracts the flies, but totally worth it. I've got some. I'm going to transplant mine in the fall. 'cause
Oh, my gosh.
Listen,
Here we go.
I could talk about it for a while, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Look how green those leaves are. You need something that's going to fill out, that can tolerate shade or sun. Austin's got his in almost full sun. So
Just love that punchy
it can
green.
take anything. It's fantastic. And then in front, we've got house plants. We've got Prince of Orange that just came in this week in our houseplant section. So it's a philodendron. Its new growth comes out this like deep orange, and then it will green as it matures. It's a really, really cool philodendron. Used to be pretty hard to find.
She's tearing up.
She is tearing up. Look at her.
Aw.
She's weeping.
She's sad.
She's not sad. She's happy to be here.
Okay.
And in front of that, we've got Scindapsus exotica. So this is one of my favorite trailing houseplants that we have here, or that you could get anywhere. The leaves are so big. It's really, really easy to grow. It doesn't need a lot of light. And this one actually likes to sit a little bit dry. So if you forget about watering, this is a really good plant for you. If you need something on a bookshelf, do it. And then in front of that, we've got quite a few different, we've got a camera.
Yeah.
Some Dracaena. So we've got Moonlight right there. That's a Dracaena. It's going to get pretty tall. Next to that, we've got Lemon Lime. And then in the middle, it's hard to see. You can probably right there. So that's kind of a smaller, like dwarf Dracaena. Dracaena reflexa. This is called Song of Jenny.
And it appears to
Wow.
be
One
shade
I haven't
loving.
seen a lot, and it is shade loving. Dracaena is super easy.
The shade of the camera.
Shade, yeah, shady plants. Look at it. And behind that, if you're wondering what that cool little fishbone plant is, that is a fishbone cactus. It's an epiphyllum. It's going to bloom at night. It's gorgeous. It
You know what it-
trails. You need it.
You know what his name is?
Whimsical.
Johnny Fishbone.
All right, there it is.
Yep.
And then our feature plant today that we've got on our hot plate, we've got an Oncinium orchid. We just got quite a few orchids in. They flew out the door. We got some called Sherry Baby that smell like floral chocolate. Those are gone, but we will
Wow.
get them again. This one is Big Shot Pink Leopard. So look at her go.
Everybody's they're naming them all after songs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
Or
Sherry
Caroline's
Baby,
mom.
Big
Or
Shot.
my mom. Yeah, Sherry Baby.
Shout out Cher.
Shout out Cher. I got her one for her birthday about 3-4 years ago. It's still doing good. I see it every time I go over to her house. But that's what we've got in room today.
Thank you,
Great work.
Caroline.
Yeah, thank you for going on
Excellent.
this little tour with me this morning.
You did the
guys
full
are
set design yesterday. No help.
No help from you.
You did great.
Well, these corner
wasn't
plants
here.
never would have made it in if you had been here. You would have been said, "No, Caroline, we're not bringing those in." But look at them. Look how tall they are.
Sometimes you just got to know when to just go with it and
Yep.
not talk
and I
about
went with
too
it.
much. Yeah?
I went with it. All right, our next question comes from Colin.
Hey,
Great
Colin.
question. For the cast, if you were a plant, which one would you be?
Colin.
There's a lot of plants I would want to be, but today I'm going to say I'm going to be Rudbeckia. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Look at that. She can handle anything.
That plant's
She's
taller
showing
than you.
off. You know what? We'll bring it to the floor and I'll stand up. No, I won't. But it's not taller than me.
I don't know. It's a little tall for you. Maybe a shorter Rudbeckia.
I never thought I was
Gosh.
that one. What are you
I
going
was
to
a
be?
plant, what I
He's
would
getting
be.
ugly because he can't think of what he's going to be.
you know,
Hush, I'm thinking. There's like millions of plants.
I got one, and it's not because I particularly like the plant. I just like to say it. This schizophragma hydrangeoides, you know.
Oh,
the climate.
wow.
Schizo, man.
Yeah.
You'd be a
Okay.
climbing hydrangea? Is that what that is?
Well, it's
Oh,
actually
you'd be clinging to those walls.
It's a different type. It's not.
Yeah.
It's actually not. It's not a climbing hydrangea that looks like one and
Yeah.
it grows like one. So I don't know why it's not one, but schizophragma. It kind of is that name that says it's not what it appears. So I kind of relate to that.
Oh, okay.
Josh.
Sea grapes.
Sea grapes.
Really?
That's the most random thing I've ever heard you say.
Yep, sea
Why
grape.
would it be sea grapes?
Because it's at the beach, man.
You like the beach?
I love the beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
They're
it.
cool plant.
Yeah, they are. They look
they're
really cool.
Really
Yeah.
neat looking, too.
My best
And you're
beach
very neat
day-
looking.
My best beach days are well behind me.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just saying.
Sea grapes.
All right, Tyler.
I've got like 3.
No, you. It's
Oops.
one.
Pick one.
Okay. I guess our wild passion flower. That's what I'm.
Oh, look at you.
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I smell sweet.
You do, or the flower does?
You look.
I'm a bit of a narcotic. I don't know.
That is
I'm a little wild looking.
You call me random?
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Well, there you go. That come on, Austin.
What are you going to be? A wild rose.
No.
That's fine.
I'm a dinner plate dahlia.
Dinner plate dahlia.
As showy and as loud as can be.
Yeah, that is you.
Uh-huh.
You
There you go, Colin. Dinner plate dahlia.
Colin, what would you be? Go ahead and write it in. We want to know.
yes.
We
yeah,
need to know.
We do.
Mine would change depending on how I was feeling that day.
Of
My
course
first
it
thought
would.
I would be a type of cactus, but you know.
Saguaro came to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did. It was close.
Yep. Gonna live forever.
That's
Very
the first
pokey.
thing. Whenever I first saw you, I was like, she can hold a lot of water.
Yeah, I can. Yes,
Yeah.
I can, Tyler. You're right about that. All right, we've got a question about lilac. Lilac with iron issues, dark veins, and pale leaves. What can I do to remedy this?
You're going to add iron.
Yeah.
Iron tone. I mean, we sell that product here. It's just straight up iron. I think it's at 30%, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, it's just straight up iron. And if that's what you need, that's what you got to give it.
And if it is indeed a chelation problem where your pH is too high, what that does is that it ties up, it binds up the plant's ability to gain access to the things that are there. So the iron actually helps to lower that pH along with other things that may be in like those products that will lower the pH to make the iron that is there more readily available. You could have an abundance of iron and the pH be too high and the plant simply can't access it. So So there's that.
All right. Joyce Hooks on our Facebook page says, "You guys are so fun. I'd love to go drinking with you sometime."
Yeah, baby.
I would love that too.
Okay.
I'm not sure that would be a good idea.
You'd be driving.
I'm
You
just
can
saying.
drive, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a Gardening Inside
I'll
Out
be the
social
DD.
hour.
David will drive us, yeah. Joyce, get with your people. They'll get with our people. We'll make
We're
this
not going to
happen.
do it on a Friday night because we got to do the show in the morning.
We are our people.
Okay, let me get back to our questions. That was a great comment, Joyce. I loved it.
Thanks,
Let's talk
Joyce.
about limelights for a moment.
Oh, boy.
My limelight hydrangeas grew straight down this year. Could it be pruning problems?
What?
I don't know.
Straight down. You mean they
Jake?
Maybe they're drooping.
they probably fell straight down
yeah.
after
I don't
they
know
got
if they
big.
could grow.
I think that they didn't prune and they had a lot of flowers and heavy rains weighted them down, and that's why they're. And when you fail to prune, that's what you could expect to see.
Can we all acknowledge that we've had a pretty rainy summer?
Yes.
In the hydrangea season, for sure. Yeah. And you know, unfortunately, we can tell you to prune, and we certainly recommend you pruning. And even if you do prune sometimes, if you have those horrible summer rains that just fill up those blooms, even if you did perfect pruning, you can still see some flop. Okay, it's just part of it with
But
limelight.
it
They
does
are so full.
It does reduce it significantly.
It does.
You increase the stem count and you reduce the overall average size of the flowers that are out there. So individually, they don't catch as much water. Therefore, they're better, more adept at handling that weight.
Yeah.
So. And then the stems being shorter because you have trimmed them also helps to make them less flexible and bendy, if you want to use a technical term. So
Bendy.
bendy.
Right in our second hydrangea question, my summer crush hydrangeas have black spots and the blooms are all dead. They were beautiful a month and a half ago. What do I do? Do nothing.
No, you cut them off if you don't like them. I mean, the blooms are done. You probably bought them in bloom, I'm assuming. And then, you know, the black spot's kind of normal this time of year, at least a little bit. You know, it's rare you're going to see a hydrangea just clean through the
Lot of
whole
rain.
season.
This
yeah,
is
a lot of rain.
exactly what mine looked like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's typically lower leaves. You know, you can, you know, plants have so many leaves. If you just remove a few, you don't notice anything different, really. So just take the black leaves off that look bad, cut off the old spent blooms, and then just live with your hydrangea. Live with that summer crush.
They're living. They're not going to be perfect year round.
Yeah.
They're not.
We've all had a summer
Gardening's
crush.
Not like that. We,
Yeah, if you're
Yes, we have.
striving for perfection, gardening may not be your hobby.
Yeah,
Because,
exactly.
you know, things happen.
Yes.
You know, weather is unpredictable and it's hard to prepare for everything.
Yeah, and like David said earlier, does it happen to y'all and not us? No, it happens to us just the same, y'all. I've got 2 hydrangeas, blue billows, and some of the lower leaves have some black spot on them.
We're just in so deep already, we can't change at this point.
no, I've got too many plants. Hey, Tyler, we did get a photo in from Sheila.
Hey,
Shall we get that up?
Shayla.
So
Sheila.
Sheila said, hello from Clarksville. Just planted 3 Itea this year. What's happening? Is it deer, bugs? How do I treat this?
Did you get all the
Wow.
parts?
Oh, there it is.
They didn't get all the parts.
Doing
right? The
something
ITs.
weird.
I think you're confused about the store, Josh. We're talking about the plant.
Oh, IKEA.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. They're very similar. Look at that hosta right next to
Oh,
it.
that came in the other day to Paula's office. I looked at that. You know what you've got? You've got a perfect incision on the leaves. That is a leaf cutter bee.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Those are so cool.
Those are super cool. And
Yeah.
all they do is make little notches like that in a few leaves. Like they are not a pest that like is a killer of a plant
you
at all.
Consider yourself special, Sheila.
Exactly.
You
Yes, you
attract
got a
a
special little
desirable
insect.
pest.
In fact, that's probably doing its function in the ecosystem. It's a native plant.
Definitely is. I mean, that's part. My mom, shout out, Mama. How you doing?
Hey.
I gave her a red bud for her birthday or Mother's Day, one of those days, and she had a leaf cutter bee come in and make perfect cuts around those red bud leaves. And it's just special when you see that. It's just like this is kind of cool, you know. And it's nothing to worry about. Sheila, nothing to worry about. Your idea is fine. You can't kill that plant. Good Lord.
I just
boy.
think
No,
that
you
those leaf cutter bees put thoughts in the wood in the in the carpenter bees. Hey, you know, we could do that in wood.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I don't
they
like
got to
those.
get a
A
union.
little less
They
desirable.
got to get a union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cherry tree.
Cherry.
There are holes and red spots on my cherry blossom tree. How do I treat it?
All right, it's been wet. The shot hole has been kind of real this year, y'all, with anything in the Prunus genus,
Kinda real.
which
Yeah.
Prunus?
cherries is, yeah. So they'll put little holes in leaves. at this point in the game, you've lost those.
You know,
Lost
you know,
in a normal summer, you might not even have leaves on it at this time of year because
Exactly.
it's too dry. They're the first thing to start dropping foliage, and that's indicative of dry conditions. And they'll drop them. I have seen them largely defoliated still in July. Yeah. So this year we've gotten a lot of rain. The fact that you have leaves on there is a sign that there's something that can chew on it. So, you know, they're going to shed off later on. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no. At this point in the game, it is what it is.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. You see Gary's?
Did I see Gary's?
Gary's question.
Oh, Gary Lee said, morning all. Grass is taking over my monkey grass. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I've been hand pulling it, and that is getting old. Is there any way to kill the grass without killing the monkey grass?
You can spot spray herbicide, but be very, very careful. Very careful. Real close. I mean, hand pulling's...
Yeah. Pull it back, and again, there was an old recommended method that we might not recommend as much anymore. But
if you're going to use glyphosate Roundup, if you're really trying to selectively spray with that, you're not going to spray at all. You need to pull it out to the side, put a plastic glove, like a dishwashing glove on, a cotton glove over that, mix it in a bucket, and dip your hand in there that's got the protective glove and wipe it on that grass, pull it out away from the other.
You can control it that way.
And it'll only get on that. But that's a lot to go through. Yeah. Most people are not.
A lot of good string trimmer skills could come in here.
Hey, we're done.
Yeah, we are. I know. My goodness
Went
gracious.
by fast.
Once again, thanks for everybody for tuning in today.
Yep. Next Saturday we'll come back. We'll be here for you here from Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
We will.
The lot
Some
will be
form
full.
or fashion will be here. You just never know exactly.
I'm gonna be here.
I'm gonna be here. At least I'm planning on it.
We hope you all join us as you come into it too. Hey, everybody out there, Risha, we'll get that question next week, but that's a whole nother day for us on that. But we do appreciate you. Hey, if you like us, share, tell everybody, spread the word so we can keep coming to you on Saturday mornings because we're going to try. Sure are. Once again, from Bates Nursery and Garden Center in the Green Room, we thank you for being here. We'll see you next Saturday morning.
Keep on digging, people.
Dig it.